Welcome everybody to the Fantasy Football Guru podcast. And your host here, Mr. No Name Team. And again, like always, Mr. Pedro, Gladiator, Exterminator on the call. But as you see, there's a third guest here in our podcast here today. Franklin Delgadillo, Mr. D Plus. Franklin, how are you?
How you doing, fellas? I miss you. However, I will not go back to that chat, that disgusting chat that all it causes me is headaches and my blood pressure to go up. I will not go back into that chat. I'm good. How you gentlemen doing?
Good, man. Good. I mean, nobody as good as you, man, because you're on vacation. You're gonna have your bye week settled. So just enjoy life, Franklin. You're doing good.
I'm always going, behind perfection. I don't just strive for mediocrity, Alfredo. I always try to be the best. And I really wanted that sixth straight win. But it's okay. We didn't get it. And you could tell by the way the league reacted yesterday how scared they are. You see Coquise come out of his shell?
Yep.
I can't stand him. But yes, I should be relaxed because I'm the number one team for actually, this would be the sixth consecutive week that I'm your number one team.
Yep.
And when I win, we all win. Team NWO all the way, baby. And Pedro, you'll get him next year, bro. You'll get him next year, bro.
No, it's fine, man. You win, we all win. We're
Exactly.
NWO, we're brothers. We're there for each other. When one of us go through hard time, try to get bullied, we're there for the others. That's why I jumped to your defense. Same way I jumped to Pedro's defense with Steven. And that's it, man. That's how we do it, man. Anything you want to say specifically to the Fly? I know the Fly is a typical type of. I heard he was even looking for you in a specific chat. What is that, Franklin?
I mean, the Fly will go out of his way, like I said in the podcast earlier today, to find me. Unfortunately, I don't have social media, so he cannot locate me in social media. I live in Savannah, so the only way he can find me is by driving 7.5 hours, which he's capable of doing. The Fly is capable of driving 7.5 hours just to knock on my door and laugh in my face. But what does that tell you, gentlemen? He's scared. He's scared because he managed to trade rate individuals to give him the players that he wanted. And guess what? If he loses, as you said in the last podcast, if he loses, this will be the biggest failure, the biggest flop in league history. And I guarantee you that if the Fly doesn't win, heed my words, Fly, if you do not win, you will not hear the end of it, my friend. I will constantly remind you, and yes, I am capable of driving 7.5 hours, and I will ask Leela for your address, because I know you live in Kendall, but I will ask Leela for your address, and she will give me your address. I will knock on your door, and wearing a clown mask like Alfredo, go honk honk.
What's Danny? This is for you. Ready?
How could you not win with that team? Your brother stated he will have Justin Jefferson, he will have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah. He will have a great squad. There is no reason why that team should lose. No reason whatsoever, Alfredo.
And Pedro was saying yesterday in the podcast, and obviously, we're here substituting for you since you're on vacation. So we're taking over here while you're out. But as Pedro was saying yesterday in the podcast, who's the favorite and basically he was saying that Danny is a favorite, but by default because he trade rape everybody, used car salesman procedure, and he built this squad. It wasn't.
You know what makes me laugh, bro? That when the trades went down, like for instance when he traded Mr. Deeds, right? Steven called me on the side. He was like, bro, Mr. Deeds an idiot. Why would he do that? Then why would you give Amon-Ra St. Brown? Bro, at that time, Amon-Ra, well, he's still a top 5 receiver. And let's analyze that trade. Who did Deeds get, Alfredo and Pedro? Who did Deeds get in that trade? He got
Nothing, right?
Jameer Gibbs,
who's a running back for Green Bay? What's his name?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron
Jones.
Jones. What has Aaron Jones done? Oh no! I'm sorry. That was a running back that Danny got.
Tiny guy.
He
Yeah,
got
no,
Kenneth
no.
Walker.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, Walker got injured. Done,
He got
basically.
hurt. He hasn't done any noise since he traded it to him, right?
Yep.
And what was the other piece that he got? I'm trying to remember now. You see, that's how crappy that trade was. I just remember
we
the
don't
player.
even remember. We don't remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
don't
remember.
He gave his whole bench.
Yeah,
Let's be
Olav.
real.
He got Olav. Which
Mhm.
you can argue that Olav has gotten a little better, but if you do the side-by-side comparisons, Amon-Ra's ceiling is just way higher.
Oh yeah.
And if you would have had Amon-Ra, if you go back a couple of weeks since that trade happened, he probably would have won some games because Amon-Ra has just blown up.
Yeah, and he's in they're the top one of the top offense. So and New Orleans is not.
It was the wrong time to look for depth like that, man.
It didn't make sense to me as an owner. It doesn't make sense for me to trade Amon-Ra St. Brown, a top 5 receiver, just to get Kenneth Walker, who was hurt. He's been hurting since he got him. And then the other guy, which he hasn't really done much, Olav. Okay, you can argue he's getting 13, 14 points a game, but that's not Amon-Ra numbers. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, man. I mean, unfortunately, Danny took advantage of individuals while they were basically, I think all those offers that he kept on sending, hoping that somebody would accept, and someone did because they probably got tired.
And Danny's that guy. Danny's that guy that he's constantly putting a rock, hoping somebody's gonna trip over it. Those are Danny trades right there. Danny does not know what a fair trade is. Danny puts a rock there, hoping someone trips, and unfortunately, Deeds fell for it, and Deeds is practically almost out of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, there's a couple ways that he can go in, but obviously he's going to be facing you this weekend. I know you're going to be very busy while you're preparing for your bye week, but I know you're keeping an eye on your matchup.
Right.
You want to give any quick thought of your matchup with Deeds, or
listen, man, your brother, he stated it very eloquently. I don't have Jonathan Taylor. I'm risking it. The last game against Benchwarmers, that's a risk because I don't have Jonathan Taylor. That's an easy 15, 20 points. I mean, anybody can use 15, 20 points. I don't have that. I have to roll the dice now with either starting DeAndre Hopkins or going free agency and see who I can get. That's rolling the dice. It's going to be a tough matchup since I don't have Jonathan Taylor. If I win, well deserving, And I can say this much. Everyone laughed at me, but I put up 108 points with my Dallas defense scoring -1 and Herbert only scoring 7 points. Come on, man. 108 points.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So they can say whatever they want, bro. And at the end of the day, man, they're scared. They just don't want me to get the chip, bro. They don't want me to get the chip because they know that if I get the chip, it's because I want it fair and square. And I'll tell you this much, bro. Steven said to Danny when he executed that trade, if you do that trade, then what Franklin did in picking up Chris Johnson in 2012 when he won his championship is the same as that trade that you just did. That's what Steven told Danny.
Wow.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that's breaking news.
I didn't know that.
Bro, Steven tells me everything, bro. And there's things that Steven has told me which I will not say. I will not say these things because you will see that it maybe comes to full fruition later on in the season.
Okay.
So I will not say.
No, we'll be
stay tuned. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it. And, at least in your matchup, you'll be fine. You'll be enjoying the playoffs. And you're already qualified. I was looking at the standings this morning.
I clinched.
And officially, you're clinched.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny as well as clinch, KMA and Steven. But, you're there on top. And you're going to remain.
Yeah, yeah. And I do want to say something because Coquise has become, what's that word that I use when he's become, what's that thing?
Pedro said it.
A hemorrhoid.
A what?
A hemorrhoid.
A hemorrhoid. Coquise, you become a hemorrhoid on my, not to say the bad word, but on my butthole. because you claim people like Alfredo are morons when the moron is you, because you're the one that traded Burrow to Deeds for scraps pieces. You got, who did he get? Who was the quarterback that he got? Stafford.
Stafford.
How do you trade Burrow for Stafford? In what world does that make sense? You're the moron at the end of the day, bro. All right. So that's all I gotta say. You continue to be the hemorrhoid on my butthole. And I can't wait for you to be eliminated this coming week. I cannot wait, bro. That's gonna be like preparation H being put on the hemorrhoid to find relief. To finally find relief.
But now
That's all
let me
I'm
ask for the
saying to you.
cookies. I mean, he's not wanted anywhere. For you, he's a hemorrhoid. He's a dog to Steven. Like,
Steven,
nobody wants him.
you see, here's the thing with Steven, bro. Steven says, brothers fight. But he already told me. Steven told me in secrecy. He'll deny this, bro. But he told me, bro, if you come to my clique, the first person I'll throw out is Kogi's. He already said it, bro. He's gonna deny it. He's gonna deny it. But come on, bro. I'm Steven's lead. Steven tells me everything. And there's not one thing that Steven hasn't told me. Well, I haven't revealed everything. Like I said, there's certain things that may come to fruition later on this season that are gonna shock you guys. But I will not say anything. I will keep my mouth shut because I have promised secrecy, and that I cannot disclose. But I will tell you this much. Steven, gentlemen, as I tell you, Coquis, I tell you, Danny, and I tell you, Deeds, Steven is not to be trusted, gentlemen. DTS. Don't trust Steven. And that's all I'm going to say. All right? But if you want to be this guy's friend and you want to be part of his clique, then by all means. But don't say I did not warn you. That's all I will say.
Hey, man, warning is the best thing you can give to somebody. And if they're still blinded, that's on them, man.
Yes. And Alfredo, let me congratulate you on that win, on that frog. Thank you so much for beating that disgusting frog. I don't touch frogs. Me personally, I don't touch frogs because they give me warts. They give you warts, bro. You become a prince, that's the biggest crap they ever told you. You get warts. When you touch frogs, you get warts. And I don't want to be associated with anything disgusting. That, ugh, it's just disgusting. Slimy frog.
The same as his performance. And it's funny because he was so confident after Thursday with the whole DK Metcalf.
You saw
how he was all confident and everybody was saying, and I said, hey, this was an indicator that my team was going to blow up.
I will say this. That you did take the heat, and I commend you for taking the heat and staying there. Me personally, I would run off. I don't like to deal with that because they're all hypocrites.
Because but I will tell you, I knew my team was going to blow up. It's not to be cocky, but usually those type of things indicate that good things are going to happen to your team. And
he was one of the ones to talk. Coquis was one of the ones to talk.
Oh,
he's like, oh, DK Metcalf. I can go back to
receipts here. I have receipts.
Yes.
Coquis.
And what happened? What happened? Nico Collins. Okay, it's okay. He doesn't get you those points. I would. 29 points from Nico Collins. And you know what? That was the biggest revenge that you could have gotten on that guy.
I remember when Danny was saying, and he dropped him for Nico Collins. And Nico Collins did the same exact thing. So,
and now who's hurt?
Guy? Isn't it the same guy that disappears every time that, like actually something goes wrong for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he disappears.
He disappears.
He does disappear.
He does disappear. So like you can laugh at me all you want for me disappearing, but you do the same thing. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. Bye. I'm really hurt right now because his Philadelphia Eagles got whooped up. They got whooped up.
Whooped up.
Looking like bro, looking like a retarded eagle. Bro, I'm so happy that the Eagles got whooped, bro. I'm so happy, man.
I'll tell you this, man. Everything that went wrong for the Coquis definitely went bad for him.
Oh, yeah. He lost in fantasy football. And look, like I said, I told you in the podcast earlier today, this is the only league right now relevant to him because he's most likely been eliminated from his other money leagues. So this is the only league he has left.
Should I send a link to the chat in case he wants to do DraftKings? Because he's going to be eliminated this week.
Yeah,
he has nothing to play for, so maybe DraftKings or FanDuel he can do.
Yeah, send it to him, bro. He'll probably be interested. Send it to him. Send it to Deeds, because they both might be eliminated by the end of this week. So
if they have any money after losing in their money leagues,
and you know what? Something I'll tell you. Danny told me this. It's gonna be so sweet when Alfredo doesn't make it to the playoffs and he has the same record, and he didn't make it because of points. And he said earlier in the season that points didn't matter. Well, guess what, Danny? As of right now, Alfredo Sauce has more points than Coquis, and he's almost right there with Deeds. So what do you got to say now, bro? And he survived. You know what, bro? You can make fun of Alfredo all you want, bro. The guy survived. It's like Pedro said. He's like the cockroach that won't die. That guy is there, and he is fighting for a playoff spot at 7-6. 7-6, right?
7-6, man.
7-6. And when most of us would have probably quit looking at the squad that he has, he did it. He persevered, man. He endured. He went through those obstacles and he got some W's, man. So mad props to Alfredo, man. And that's what it means to be an NWO.
Yep. We fight to the end, man.
That's it, man. That's it.
Okay.
Hey, you remember in the beginning of the year, Alfredo, when everybody was making fun of you for Nico Collins?
Yeah.
Look at Nico.
Trevor Lawrence. Everybody made fun of Trevor Lawrence, and look.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, that was a freak accident, man. Freak accident. And you know,
he was blowing up. He had 3 weeks in a row with more than 20 points. So he was turning it around.
Yeah.
But it happens, man.
You know what they're probably gonna do with this podcast? They're probably gonna do a screenshot of this and then post it as the league, picture. Because that's what they do. That's what, because they're not creative, bro. Steven says that we steal stuff from them. We don't steal it, bro. We just make it better. We've elevated that sucker, bro. The fact that Pedro made better videos than you, come on, bro. Yeah, that's not my fault, bro.
Pedro did some great videos there, and
man.
Hey, everybody, we make things. Look how we started our original podcast.
I'll tell you how that podcast started, Alfredo. That podcast started because there was going to be a potential playoff, matchup between you and Danny, right?
Yep.
And so the very, very first podcast was done between you and me. It was the worst podcast ever because, it wasn't ready. It wasn't at the level that it should have been in. But you and I started that idea, and then it just kept going and going, bro. People kept elevating it. So
actually, Pedro was the one more of the part with the podcast.
He planted the seed.
He planted the seed,
He planted the seed, and that that's what got me thinking, like, oh, maybe that would be a good idea. My season was practically over last year, early. So then I decided to do an interview with you. And then as soon as I did an interview with you, the fly calls me. I want to be on the podcast. I don't know why he just loves to follow everything you do. Everything that you do, the fly just wants to see what you're doing, what you're picking up.
Everything picking up. If something bad happens to me, he's right on top of
me. Yeah. He's just constantly looking at what you're doing, bro. And I don't know, bro. He's probably secretly in love with you, bro. I don't know, man.
Who knows, man? I know that he's gonna hate me if he does get eliminated by whoever he gets eliminated. Like we said, I'm gonna go to his golf course and I'm gonna let everybody know that he lost. I'm even gonna go to the address. And if I have to go and look and ask for his mom, go through the records.
I'll tell you where Lila lives.
Okay. I'll tell you where Lila lives. Tell me who the coordinador is, and I'll get Danny's information.
Bro, let me tell you, bro. You don't even need to go far to Lila, bro. Just ask Abraham, bro. Abraham will give you his address, bro.
And you know how it is, Franklin. We can get access to people's address and everything like this.
Yes, exactly, bro. Exactly. Even from here in Savannah, Danny, I see you. Access, bro. And let
In
me
the
tell you something, bro.
JP.org search thing, you can easily find
Yes.
people.
And I will tell you this. I will tell you this much, man. For all the crap that the Fly talk, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if the Fly cannot cap it off with a championship, it's gonna be the biggest disappointment, the biggest failure. How could you not win with that squad, man? Like he has a great squad, man. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is putting like what 30 points a game?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he has Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's giving him 20 plus points a game. C-Mac giving him 20 plus points a game. He's going to have Justin Jefferson back, which is going to be another 20 plus points a game.
Ferguson, his tight end too, has been very good too.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what, bro? For all that Danny says that he did not trade rape, let's use this as a prime example. You trade rape people that don't know what they're doing. Deeds, I'm going to call you out. You're coming back next season. I love you, man. But here's the thing. Deeds uses a calculator that's deflected.
I seen that calculator.
So the way this calculator works, gentlemen, is that this calculator grabs the player's total fantasy points and it compares it to the other player. And depending on who has the more points, it'll tell him, yes, you are getting a good trade, Deeds. But it doesn't account. What if this player was just hurt in the beginning of the season and is coming back just now, such as, Jonathan Taylor's case, right? It doesn't account that. He just saw, oh, wow, this player has more points than the other one. I'm going to take it because he's using that calculator, bro. And unfortunately, because of that, he got taken advantage. And you can say the same thing with your trade, Alfredo, but you know what? At the end of the day, everyone's responsible, for making their own decisions, and unfortunately,
DK Metcalf and Diggs.
DK Metcalf and Diggs. Well, that trade, I got to give it to your brother, man.
Yeah, but he didn't take advantage. I take full responsibility. He didn't bamboozle me. He didn't talk. It's what I wanted. I'm the one who made the wrong decision. So
Right.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, I mean, we can stay here and talk all night and build a fire and talk about all these great matchups that we've had all season. But I feel like as of right now, I'm gonna give you guys my weekly predictions because I'm not gonna be on the chat. This is gonna be. I want to give you. All right, so Alfredo, I don't know if you wanna or on Pedro, tell me what matchup you want me to predict here.
Well, let's start. Let's start with the matchup. With probably least playoff implication. Bye weekend in Cancun. Sorry, Pedro.
Man, I mean, like these two teams are like two high scoring teams, man. And I cannot believe I'm seeing 9th and 10th place. I mean, I may be biased. I may be voting with my heart, but I gotta go with my boy. My boy, Cancun is gonna pull it off, and he's gonna end the season with a 5-9 record. So I think he'll pull it off.
Okay, perfect. Let's go on. With least important to more important.
Okay.
Let's talk about the bottom of the playoff. So, for example, you have Los Coquis and ARP. That's basically an elimination game. Who do you have winning there?
Again, I may be voting with my heart here, but I mean, here's a matchup to look out for. Matthew Stafford versus Lamar Jackson, gentlemen. Matthew Stafford is going up against a tough Baltimore defense. And it's not going to be easy for him because, I mean, this defense is, I think, one of the top 3 defenses in the aerial attack. So I don't think that Stafford is going to have a favorable matchup. I think, unfortunately, he's going to get shut out there. He's not going to get much. I think Lamar Jackson will take him. Receiver-wise, I mean, Devontae Smith has been playing like a stud, but then he's going to have to depend on Smith, Gibbs, and Swift. And Kelsey.
It's not going to work. They go.
It's going to be tough.
They go up against Dallas.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. That's a good point. They go up against Dallas. Dallas doesn't give it that easy to them. So I'm looking at the matchups. Based on matchups here, I think Alex has the more favorable matchup here, and I'm going to give it to AARP. And I believe that
he pick up a tight end too. He hasn't picked up a tight end.
Right. I know. I see that he has his tight end on bye, McBride, so he hasn't picked up a tight end. So with that said, I do see AARP pulling off the win, and Los Coquis being eliminated from playoff contention.
Okay. All right.
Right now,
Perfect.
everybody's like, "Oh, he's voting with his heart." No, I'm looking at matchup, people,
Yeah,
matchups.
it is. All right. So based on that, Los Conquis will be out based on your projection, and in ARP we still won't know because we'll mostly will depend on this next matchup. The rematch of the semis, No Name Team versus KMA. This was a tough one because No Name Team doesn't have a quarterback. He's basically
I,
so.
boy,
What do you have to say about that? This one should be easy.
boy, I'll tell you this much, Alfredo. I've never been your biggest fan. I want to believe in your team, man, but you're up against the odds here. You have a strong TMA team who has Josh Allen, CeeDee Lamb, Keenan Allen. I mean, Raheem Mostert is on the downfall, but man, this team looks complete, man. And I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be closer than what is projected here. Obviously, T Law is not gonna be starting in your roster. But depending on how waivers go tomorrow, um, let's see, man. I think you're gonna lose this one, bro. I'm sorry to say, man. It's a tough matchup, man. But
No, man. Even with T Law, man, I'm projected to lose. I mean,
yeah, and again, it shouldn't surprise you, man. You've been against the odds all season long.
yeah.
But if you can weather this storm, bro, you would have earned a playoff spot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so based on that, then KMA will, he could be in potential, getting the bye. It
Bye
all
week,
depends on this next matchup, in which is going to be your matchup and Deeds. And then this means a lot because you win, you continue with the bye week.
right?
You lose, hell can break loose. And then if you beat
Mm-hmm.
Deeds, then basically Deeds is gone. And we'll have our two playoffs. So what do you
Right.
project?
Okay, so let's go over the Team D plus versus Mr. D. So I mean, it's gonna be a tough matchup. Patrick Mahomes um is going up against Buffalo. That's gonna be a high scoring game. I believe it might be a shootout. Um, Justin Herbert is going against Denver. He has me there in quarterback, but let's just be honest. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been playing like the Patrick Mahomes of the past. I mean, last week he had a dud game, 14 points. Had the possibility of it being a back and forth, and he didn't do much. So,
Yep.
with that being said, I do feel like his matchups are a little bit tougher. For instance, Kenneth Walker is going up against a tough San Francisco defense. He's coming back from an injury, so let's see how he phases there. Montgomery, he's splitting carries. He's gonna have to rely. His bread and butter is gonna be his receivers and his quarterbacks. Based on that, I feel like because I have the more favorable matchups, it says here that I'm projected to lose, but I think I got Mr. Deeds. Basically saving your season, Alfredo, and you getting in.
Yep. Yeah, because when that happened, then automatically I'll be in the playoffs. So hopefully that matchup, it goes
Yeah.
through. And then we'll decide on so who do you think? So now that I'm in and
But
most likely ARP is in, who do you think is 5-6? Just quick. I'm ahead of Alex for a few points, but
5 and 6. Okay, so I'll have I'll have you at 5, and I'll have Alex at 6. I do think that yeah, you'll have them on points. I think still at the end of the day.
okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I think. And
Okay.
you want me to say number 4 and 3, 3 and 4?
Bueno, we have one more matchup to decide, so that can
That,
probably
well,
that matchup is the match
boy,
of balls. I mean, the
I'll
main
tell you.
event.
Uh,
Is this gonna end in a tie?
Zero
let me,
versus zero.
0 versus 0. Well, I'll tell you this much, man. Boy, I love the fakeness. Uh huh.
No, before you go. So by your victory, that
Uh huh.
means that if they end up in a tie, then Danny will be number 2 and Steven will be number 3.
Well, contingent on if I win or not, right?
Yeah, if you win. So since we're using the scenario that you're winning, so the question is, will they stay tied or they will decide that it's time to move?
Boy, I'll tell you something, bro. I smell some phoniness here. I smell something brewing here. I don't believe that these gentlemen have the balls to bench their squad and just, you know, let like depend on the other scenarios. Because if Danny ties and I win and KMA wins, which is a very good possibility,
Yeah.
but that would force Danny to play in the first round of the playoffs. So I don't know how. I know that this is running through Danny's head because as confident as Danny wants to sound that I'm going to lose, any human being would be scared right now because the matchups are really close. It's a toss-up between me and Team Mr. Deeds. And it's a toss-up. Well, KMA looks like he might beat you, bro. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say, but
Yeah,
that looks almost a certain win. So, like, Danny is really, really risking it here. And he worked so hard, as he would say. He worked so hard for this season, right? And to let it come down to other matchups, I don't think Danny's gonna go through with it. I don't think you have the cojones, my friend, to do it. You will pull the trigger and you will put your players back in. And I feel like something's gonna happen here, Alfredo. Something is gonna happen here.
They have an agreement that
They have entre comillas, right, an agreement, but nah.
I smell some fake love there, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. So this is gonna be interesting.
Remember, Danny eliminated you last year. So just again, I'm gonna keep on reminding you that person that you consider your butt buddy eliminated you from the playoffs last year. And I know you're a competitor, so I don't think. Just think about it. That's all I tell you.
Hey guys, it's 10:08. I got to write, but I'll tell you this. My last words. I won't be in the chat, so I heard the chat is quiet now, and this is what you get. This is what you guys get when you piss me off. You won't get fun, Franklin. Franklin leaves the chat. All right. So go ahead, be fun amongst yourselves. And Danny, keep reaching me in Teams. I'll find a way to block you in Teams too. He reached out to me at work too, via Teams. So he's somehow trying to get in there to try to get under my skin, but I'll find a way to block him or something. So keep trying to find ways to reach me. I don't have social media, and I have blocked you on my phone, so I am not seeing your messages in the group chat that we have between you, me, and Alfredo. The only messages I'm seeing is Alfredo. I'm not seeing your messages whatsoever. And I have chosen to block you because right now I'm focused for the playoffs, like we should all be right now. If you're in contention still, you should be focused. And I think the time for talks is over. It's either put up or shut up, gentlemen.
Franklin, any plans this weekend? Just very fast. I know you have.
Listen, man. I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna do my thing, and we'll let the best man win. Like I said, let's bang it out. Like I always say, And that's all I gotta say. I'll be relaxed. I'll be good because win, lose, or draw, I'm still in the playoffs.
You can do this, man. You can do this, man.
I'll relax.
Lift your hand. That's it. That's what these people are envying you because they wish they have to be fighting while you're doing that.
Exactly. And Coquis, good luck sweating it out because your playoff spot is not guaranteed. Great job on that trade. Traded away Burrow. Excellent job, bro. Such a smart guy. And enjoy it. Enjoy trying to get in the last 2 playoff spots, which I doubt you will. I think you will lose, and I will laugh. You know how Steven posts those messages of the laughing? Oh, I will have one of those long laughters. I will get back in the chat, do a long laughter, and then leave.
Proofread this, Coquis. See you next year. Well, Frank,
gentlemen, thank you.
It was a pleasure having you in here as a surprise guest. You're the original host. Enjoy your vacation. We'll see you next week in the playoffs. Hopefully, the rest of the NWO will be with you. But if not, enjoy, man.
Thank you, sir. And I hope the NWO can bring you home. Love you guys. Stay strong. Alfredo, you can still battle it out. Stay strong, my friend. Try to get one of those last 2 playoff spots. And Pedro, I love you, man. I hope that next year is completely different, man. I hope you're able to make it to the playoffs. We miss you, bro. We miss you.
All right, man.
Bye, gentlemen.
All right.
Toodles.
Well, Pedro, since we had an unexpected guest, we can continue on our topic for tomorrow. Since we're already in the 34-minute mark, we can continue tomorrow. League, hopefully you see this message from Franklin. He will not see your response, so anything that you want to send it to me. And if he's able to see it when I send it to him, he will be able to respond back. Tomorrow we'll go over a couple of the topics from the bye weeks. We'll go over the final seeds, and see who will finally make the playoff. Pedro, anything you have to say?
No, that's it pretty much. Let's see what happens, man. This is gonna be a very interesting week because a lot of things are happening that maybe shouldn't be happening, but it's gonna be a very interesting.
Yep. All right. Well, it was a pleasure, and thank you very much. And then we'll see you guys in our next episode in the Two versus Brother podcast, and also the Fantasy Football Gurus all together.
Yes, sir.